Heyo everybody, Haku here with my first ever review for Mitsuboshi Colors. Gonna be Mitsuboshi Colors episodes 1 and 2. Since I'm a little bit behind, I'm gonna just throw these two in together. And I didn't take notes while watching them, I took notes afterwards, so it's not really gonna be much of a beat by beat thing, just more general thoughts on all the different stories and stuff we saw within them. So yeah, this is just an opening introductory review for the series, kind of. But I'm gonna be talking about this week to week. And the other two I've decided to review weekly, for now at least, are Citrus and Kokoku. I feel like with this being a comedy, Citrus being a romance, Kokoku being sort of a more action-y, drama, sci-fi kind of deal, it gives us a bit of variety. Violet Evergarden's also possible, and Sora Yuri Motoi Basho is also possible, but those last two, I don't know if I'm feeling like reviewing them right now. I might add them into the schedule and start reviewing them weekly too, just add them into the cycle. If a bunch of you want me to review them, or if I end up a few weeks from now being like, man, I really want to review those weekly, I'll throw them in because I feel like it. So yeah, either of those circumstances, I can do those two, but like I said, Citrus, Kokoku, and this, Mitsuboshi Colors for right now. Just wanted to get that out of the way briefly, quickly. One thing I was going to say going into Mitsuboshi Colors is that at first I wasn't sure about reviewing it, and the 5 I mentioned were all 5 that I got people after asking, like, what anime that I'm watching do you want me to review? Those were the 5 mentioned by people, and so these are the 3 I most wanted to review, which is why I'm doing those 3. But either way, Mitsuboshi Colors, I thought it would be weird to review at first, because I've always found reviewing comedies to be difficult. There's not much you can say about the jokes or comedy other than they were good. But this is really endearing, and I feel like it's got the potential to be the kind of comedy almost, I don't want to compare it too much to Maid Dragon because it's going to be a completely different type of comedy than Maid Dragon, but I feel like it's the type of comedy where it's not just a comedy, but it also tells a good story. I think that this has the chance to tell a nice, comfy, good story. And it's very, very character-driven, which I love. I love how pretty much any interaction and anything that ends up happening so far from the first 2 episodes has all been driven by the characters and their personalities and decisions and interactions they make, which I think was really, really good. Everything felt like it had purpose and it followed, and the attention to detail was actually really good. And it's surprising, and I read through forum posts and stuff on both of these episodes before this too when I was taking notes and everything, and I saw so many other people saying the same thing, like, going back there are so many details that were in the background, and a lot of the backgrounds are animated really, really nicely. But there are a lot of details I didn't really notice, and that's really cool how it all played in together. But either way, starting off also the reviews for this will be wholesome. There will be no lolliconing from me here. Hopefully. Just ravioli, do not lewd the hero lollies. But either way, starting with episode 1, and some general things that I noticed in episode 1, I loved how everything seemed quote-unquote realistic. I don't want to use the word realistic too much to describe this, it's anime after all, but I feel like the personalities of all the main characters felt really realistic. They didn't feel like super anime or anything. They weren't like completely over the top, out of the realm of possibility, 300 IQ mastermind or anything. They felt like real, actual kids, the main 3, and then adding in the characters around them and the way that they treated them. I don't know, it just felt really real and cool. And the same with their adventures. The adventures they went on, the stuff they got involved in, all felt just really realistic, like it could just happen at any time, which it makes it feel really good. Because normally you see plenty of slice of life shows, but the slice of life shows are very much not really super realistic most of the time, but either way, I digress. So starting, I'm going to talk about the 3 characters and how I liked their personalities real quick and how they did feel real. Yui felt just your innocent, naive, realistic good kid, where she's just following along with others. She's just the normal kid. She's been taught good things and she isn't corrupted or anything, but she follows along with what the others say and what's told to her by adults without really questioning it much. She just sort of follows them and then goes by the beat of very simple childlike logic. Then Kotoha, of course, is the kid who, and everybody keeps bringing up, oh, she's super adult, she is the sadist of the group and all that. But it's cool because she's that character who, you know, so many kids like that who play violent video games, watch violent movies, they understand, like, blood, gore, killing and all that. Well, they know blood, gore, killing and all that, but they don't quite understand it. You can tell that they don't quite understand what the adult-ish things they're saying are. So, again, a really good character in that way. And then Sachan is just the poop and annoying kids. She is obsessed with poop and annoying kids jokes, essentially, and she keeps repeating things because she says they're funny, which ordinarily you would think would be played up for annoyance toward the audience, like it often is. But no, it's a really cool character quirk, and it makes her seem, God, realistic. Again, throwing out that word very loosely here. But I really did like all of that. And then Saito, again, I'm going to throw him in and talk about his character. I think he's a great foil for the Colors because he's the straight man, essentially, who is the Squidward, essentially, who's just trying to do his job, gets annoyed by the characters, but it's balanced so well where they're annoying him, but they don't annoy the viewers. And he ends up trying to screw with them a little bit, but in the end, he cares about them in his own sort of way. He isn't going to do anything to purposefully harm them. So I like that. So he's annoyed by the comedy-driven characters, and that drives the storylines. But either way, I thought that the intro scenes in episode 1 were really cool and comfy, the cat-finding adventure they went on and all that. Then the obvious best scene is the RPG scene. That was probably one of the funniest scenes I've seen. I would have said the funniest scene so far this anime season, but Slow Start is actually really surprisingly good. I'll talk about Slow Start a little at the end, just before we end it, but I was surprised by how good that show is. Either way, RPG scene, obviously the best, funniest thing there. I thought that was hilarious. And again, all the things like Yui crying, I don't want to be blown to Reens, I don't want to be Reens. And then them mispronouncing words and getting things wrong, and the naivety of it was really funny. And then I thought the cute adventure that the old man sent them on, that the guy that runs the shop, that was really cute and funny, and how it was just him sending them on an adventure to play into their hero fantasy. I thought that was so great. So yeah, for the first episode, I thought it was really funny and heartfelt. I absolutely loved it, and I do think it had a spark of creativity there. To the point where I think I'd give it 8.25 bakeries out of 10. I forgot the bakery scene where Sachan just went in there, made poop jokes, and then yelled at them and then ran away. It was great. So then, going into the second episode, 8.25 for the first one. Episode 2, just poor Yui getting left behind during hide and seek, and she was just an adorable Oni. That outfit was the cutest thing. Must protect Yui, the Dataru. But yeah, I loved how each of their personalities really drove that storyline and where each of them ended up at. Kotoa was just completely involved in her game and trying to get, what were they, like club passes or street passes or something, but she's just going around trying to collect them, and that drives her to go everywhere. Sachan is just like, oh, Yui missed us right under her nose, and then is just completely trying to chase random whatever, and sort of pushing along Kotoha into going on this adventure further away from the park. So again, really funny how both of those ended up, and poor Yui just earnestly looking around for them and not knowing what happened with them. So, so cute. And then the small details were great, especially in the next part where they're doing the cleanup stuff and they were painting all the sidewalks and all that, or not the sidewalks but the alleyways, and they ended up tracking paint everywhere. And it was cute because you could notice by the sound of the footsteps, and you could see when they were running around, you could actually see their footprints on the ground, but they never noticed it. And it was adorable. It's just them going on an adventure without noticing what's, like they said, right under their nose. So again, really adorable. And then I thought the next part, continuing on with the cleaning mission, I thought it was cute the way they were being scolded by, I thought it was one of their moms, where they were being scolded not to throw natto in the water to clean it because they had heard that. And then all their scenes with the natto and with the, I guess she's a high school girl they met that they know from the park. All of those were cute. All those were funny. And I love how they ended up being like, we can only save the world by destroying humanity. And then they get all depressed because of that. And then Yui gives her epic speech about, we need to give up. We can save the world if we give up. We've done it. We've saved the world. At least I think that was Yui. Maybe it was Sachan, but I thought it was Yui who decided we can save the world just by giving up. So I thought that was great. I thought that the comedy and the storytelling was really smart and funny, and the show in general was detailed and great. I do love the characters. I love the setting. So yeah, and I hope it stays sort of this way. I hope it doesn't stray into more absurdist comedy. I think it's funny the way it is, where it feels like comfy, real situations that could happen, but these situations being real is played in a way that's so detailed and smart that it makes it really funny. So I absolutely love that, and I'd give the episode as a whole 8.5 footprint tracks out of 10. I thought that was cute too, the way the shop owner was like, these footprints everywhere. I guess that you can tell exactly where the colors have been. So it was just so adorable. I love this show so far. I hope you enjoyed the review. Oh yeah, real quick, since the review of that's pretty much over, real quick I'm going to say, slow start going into that. I thought that was going to be like really low budget and just kind of a bland whatever slice of life. That turned out to be really funny, and I love the animation style. I think the way that they animate movement and the way the characters are always moving, it's really dynamic and it's really good. A lot of work had to be put in. I'm really thinking that there are a lot of underrated shows every season, and I talk about a lot about how a lot of them are underrated. That's an underrated one so far this season. Slow Start is actually really good, and it was really funny. I laughed a lot at the second episode. Just watched it this morning. So yeah, I guess that's it. Like I already said, I'm going to be reviewing Mitsuboshi Colors, Citrus, and Kokoku Weekly. Going to be pumping out reviews to catch up to them, and then whenever the next episode comes out, I'll have the next review up. And like I said, I might add Sora Yori Matoi Basho, I might add Violet Evergarden if people are interested in me reviewing them, or if I decide that I feel like reviewing them. It would be a lot to take on that many shows, but if I feel like it, I'm going to, even if it's a lot. I'm going to overwhelm myself because that's the way I am with this stuff. If I have a passion to make videos for something, even if it completely overwhelms me and I don't realistically have time, I'm still going to somehow push myself to pump them out. But either way, that's it. I love this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. Guess that's it. If you want a link to our Discord server, you can talk with me and a bunch of the rest of us there. Just ask. I'll give you a link to the Discord server. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.